Haribol, Namaste, Krishna, Krishna. So tonight, the following the short Kirtan here, we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 42, which is the last verse in chapter 4. Mati Sirasarupananda Paramahansa Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Buddha Mati Sirasarupananda Paramahansa Iti Namine Namo Sirasarupananda Paramahansa Namine Ora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Nama Sirasarupananda Paramahansa Namine Ora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Devasesha Sunyavare Askacha Desatarine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Devasesha Sunyavade Askacha Desatarine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Devasesha Sunyavade Askacha Desatarine Vajashi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Harita Asriko Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Harita Garadara Shri Asriko Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Harita Garadara Shri Asriko Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Harita Garadara Shri Asriko Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Nityananda, Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga, 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 Radha Krishna Vrindavan, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga, Radha Krishna Vrindavan, 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 Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora, Hari Bol, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajika Satara Sutta Shishima Jugakuru Sudaswarupananda Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajika Satara Sutta Shishima His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koda Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Nitai Goswald Mission Ki Jai. Navadvita Dhamma Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath, Shamakun Radhakun, Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Ki Jai, Mathura Ki Jai, Mayapur Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Amagina Timarandasya Gana Gana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militanyena Tajmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Statpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Urupa Karamayam Tadati Swa Padantekam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhi Vrindavanishari Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavenbhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. For speaking, first I offer my humble obeisances at the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Jagat Guru Siddhasarupananda Srila Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada is a mercy manifestation of Lord Chaitanya, who is very dear to Radha and Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like wish-fulfilling trees, able to fulfill all the desires of the fallen living entities, and are full of compassion upon them. Haribol, Namaste, welcome, thanks for watching. So there's the mantras. As a reminder, the mantras are recited starting with Om Ajnana Timarandasya. These are known as Mangala Charana, an auspicious invocation. And these verses and the translations, can be found in Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada at the beginning of his introduction. So tonight we're continuing with Bhagavad Gita chapter 4. And we're up to the last verse, text 42. And so this verse comes in a sequence of verses, which I've called, and some others have called, I haven't been unique, this isn't my own unique scholarship, have called the gift of knowledge, of jnana. Jnana means knowledge, spiritual knowledge, knowledge about our sambandha, or relationship. Sambandha means relationship. Relationship, so it's about who I am, right? What is my true identity? Who am I? Why am I here, right? Who am I? What is my relationship to this world? What is my relationship to other living beings, other people? And what is my relationship with the Supreme Lord? And of course the answers to these questions are like, well, I am eternal spirit soul. I'm not this body. Krishna started describing this right from the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Once Arjuna had surrendered to him, became somewhat of an empty cup, appealing to Krishna. Krishna, please tell me what is Makshaya, what is for my long-term benefit? What is for my real benefit? Makshaya shan nishitam bruhitan me. Please tell me what is for my real benefit. So Arjuna came to that point. Of course, and this is going to be relevant to the verse we're studying tonight. Arjuna is a warrior. He's here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And he's got all these weapons, and he's engaged in, a horrendous war, a fratricidal war, like a dynastic struggle. So, I've given the example before. It's like in the American Civil War, families were divided. Some of them had, maybe they were born in the South, but they'd emigrated, moved to the North. And, now they've decided they're going to fight for the northern side, and some of them decided, no, we're going to fight for the southern side. So you had families fighting against each other. So there's like a civil war. But here in this one, this is a dynastic struggle. It's very personal. Arjuna is fighting against his cousin brothers. His cousins, the sons of Dhritarashtra, headed by Duryodhana. And, he's fighting alongside his 5 brothers. He's fighting for the sake of Maharaj Yudhisthira. Dharma personified. Dharma meaning duty, responsibilities. He's the rightful king. And so Arjuna is engaged in this fight with all these weapons. And so, but, as you all know, he decides he doesn't want to fight. I don't want to fight, I don't want to fight against my relatives. This is bad. Killing is bad. Killing relatives is very bad. Killing people like grandfather Bhishma Dev is just abhorrent. Killing people like Drona Acharya, my military teacher, and Kripa Acharya, my archery teacher, this is just terrible. I don't want to do it. And Arjuna comes up with a whole bunch of like really good reasons. It's not like they're bad reasons. They're good reasons. If I fight and kill these people, there's going to be lots of widows. Widows will be exploited. There'll be unwanted progeny as a result. And from this unwanted progeny, this committing of adultery resulting in illegitimate children born outside of a family, there'll be all kinds of problems and strife. The ancestors won't get their offerings. It'll be, this is sinful. Arjuna is telling Krishna, this is sinful, what we're going to do. And that he's heard that people who engage in sin abide always in hell. So Krishna, you want me to do something sinful, and we're going to go to hell as a result of it. Families will go to hell, society will go to hell. As my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada says, we'll go to hell in a handbasket, like a saying. So anyway, so Krishna, once he starts giving Arjuna instructions, after Arjuna is asked to be instructed, so this is an important point. Of course, Arjuna is asking to be instructed. So it's not like we go around giving instructions to people who don't want it. Unwanted advice is generally, quite unwelcome. People get irritated. You start giving advice to people, like, look, I didn't ask for your advice. I didn't ask for your opinion. This kind of the reaction we'll get from people. So Krishna is giving advice. He's not just giving advice, he's giving pure transcendental knowledge, but he's giving it because Arjuna is asking for it. Arjuna is ready to receive it. And Krishna re-emphasizes this point in chapter 4, text 34, that if you want to know, if you want knowledge, if you want tadvidi, if you want knowledge, then you must approach with submission, inquiry, and with a service attitude. So we don't just take, we're not just approaching and taking, rather we're approaching in a submissive mood, we're making inquiry about Brahma, the absolute truth. This is the beginning of the Vedanta Sutra, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Now is the time to inquire into the absolute truth. Why is it now? Because you have the human form of life. In Arjuna's situation, he's in the human form of life, and he's in a terrible situation, a tragic situation. And he's confused, he doesn't know what to do. So now is the time for him to inquire into the absolute truth. This is why he's asking Krishna, please tell me for certain, Nishitam, tell me for certain what I should be doing. What is the most beneficial thing? Makshaya. I'm confused about my duty. I don't know what I should do. Arjuna is explaining to Krishna why he doesn't want to fight, but he knows within his heart, well, he has to fight. This is his dharma. He's a warrior. Warriors can't walk away from a battle. As Krishna points out to him in chapter 2, from all sorts of, text 31 to 37, there's all sorts of reasons why a warrior has to perform his duty. If he walks away from the battlefield, his opponents will deride him. They'll call him a coward. They'll laugh at him. Nothing could be worse for Arjuna, for a proud warrior, to be laughed at by other warriors, to be called a coward. But these are this is, demonstrating Krishna's, of course, Krishna, it's like sort of silly for me to even say, but, demonstrating his brilliance. He's talking to Krishna Krishna is talking to Arjuna from all different angles. Yes, on a very practical level, understanding the psychology of Arjuna. That he's also talking from a point of view of knowledge. That you're not this body. You don't die. Bhishma Deva is not going to die. Nahanyate hanyamani sari re. The soul is not killed when the body is killed. You can't kill Bhishma Deva. You can't kill Drona Acharya. You may kill their bodies, but you can't kill them. Nor can you be killed. So Krishna told Arjuna, well, you're being silly. The wise, the pundits, lament neither for the living nor the dead. This is like the first thing Krishna tells him. You're lamenting for that's lamenting about that which is not worthy of lamentation. The wise don't lament about this. The pundits, so you're being foolish, Arjuna. So anyway, then Krishna, has been describing this, giving Arjuna this knowledge, and then he's explained to Arjuna throughout parts of chapter 2, and then at length in chapter 3, and then further again in parts of chapter 4, that you need to perform your duty. This is known as karma yoga. And not just perform karma, but perform it, or duty or action, but perform it in a way that's known as nishkama karma yoga. Nishkama means without desire for the fruit of result. In other words, you perform your action, your duties. You don't perform someone else's duty. It's like Arjuna before he surrendered to Krishna, he's talking about going and, becoming a renunciate, to give up. I would rather give up my responsibilities, my position as a great warrior and a prince. I'd rather give this up and just go and become a beggar. Now, Arjuna's duty is not to be a beggar, because Kshatriyas don't beg. It goes against their very psychology, their very mentality. It's foreign to them. His duty is to fight. So, Arjuna must perform his duty. he can't perform the duty of a beggar. So like a renunciate, a sannyasi, there's different levels of sannyasis, but they generally go and perform what's known as madhukari. They go, madhu means sweet, and kari is like, they're like a bee that goes and collects a little bit of pollen from different flowers. So when they perform madhukari, they'll just go to the different houses. Sannyasi performs madhukari. They'll go to different houses and just get a little bit. They'll go and speak to the Mataji and beg a little something, a little gift, something. So they'll offer just a little bit. They won't take a whole lot from one person. They just take a little bit. Then they'll go to another person. And then they go to different people each day. They don't go to the same places all the time. They don't become dependent. They depend upon the Supreme Lord to inspire people to give them something. So they go to 7 different places, collect a little from each. And but that's the duty of a sannyasi, a renunciate. This is not the duty of a householder, a prince, like Arjuna. He has duties, responsibilities to his family members, to his eldest brother, Maharaj Yudhisthira, and to his elder brother Bhima, and to his younger brothers Nakula and Sahadev, and to all his soldiers. As I've said many times, it's like Arjuna is like, there's 11 Akshauhini divisions on the side of the Kurus, and there's only 7 on Arjuna's side. And what's tipping the scale so that there's, why haven't the Pandavas given up? Why haven't they just abandoned the fight and gone, oh gee, we're outnumbered. Gosh, we're totally outnumbered here, we better just throw in the towel. And we'll just give everything up. No. They're going to engage in the fight, even though they're outnumbered 11-7, which is almost a 50%, or more than a 50%, right? They're more than 50% outnumbered. And why are they not giving up? It's because Arjuna is such a great warrior. He's like tipping the scales, So anyway, so Arjuna has his duty to perform. So, this section, the gift of knowledge, and so I guess I got into this because Krishna is giving Arjuna the gift of knowledge. And of course, through his conversation with Arjuna, he's giving all of us, this gift of transcendental knowledge, this jnana, by which we can see things as they are. But generally speaking, we don't see things as they are. We don't understand what's going on in this world. We have no idea. Right? We're absorbed in the affairs of this temporary material world. We're absorbed in the affairs of our temporary material body, of our own little family situations, or our own little extended family, or our extended community, our country, our planet Earth, our species of humans. We become absorbed thinking that this is all. This is everything. Whereas it's all just a temporary, passing, fading show. There's nothing eternal or lasting about it. It's all temporary. This body that we identify with, thinking that it's us, that this is me, and that this is my spouse, and these are my children, and this is my job, and this is my car, and this is my house, and this is the seat that I sit on every week when I give a class, and this is my phone, and this is my selfie light, and this is my iPad, right? So we're in this belief that all of this is mine and that this is me. Me, mine, right? Me, mine. I, me, mine, as the Beatles sang in a song, right? Anyway, but actually inspired by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Beatles had quite a relationship with him, particularly George Harrison. Anyway, we are receiving this transcendental knowledge by which we can see things as they are, and understand the false and temporary nature of this world. So then, but also by this knowledge, so Krishna doesn't say, okay, so look guys, everything is temporary and false and illusory, so just don't do anything. No. He tells us that we should act without it, we should perform our duty, we should perform our responsibilities. We should be responsible members of society, right? But we should do our particular duty. Don't do someone else's duty. Like Arjuna, don't go and become a beggar. That's not your duty. That's not your dharma. The Sanskrit term is swadharma, one's own duty. Perform your own duty. Don't try and perform someone else's duty, right? And act responsibly. But do it without attachment to the results, nishkama. So Krishna is, in chapter 3, described at length about how, the common people follow the actions of great men. Right? And then he gives the example of Janaka Maharaj, that he achieved perfection through performing prescribed activities and setting an example for others. And then Krishna says, heck Arjuna, even I perform my prescribed duties. Because if I didn't, the world would go to hell. Everyone would follow, oh, well, look what Krishna's doing. He's not performing his duties, so I won't perform mine. So, like in society, engaging in illicit relationships, sexual affairs, but not taking responsibility for the other person in the relationship. This is against Dharma. This is not right. Right? So we should, we should act responsibly. Otherwise we're creating chaos in society. Anyway, so this section, the gift of knowledge, this is where Krishna is, there's 6 verses in it. 9 verses. Anyway, so Krishna, and we've talked about these over the last few weeks many times. Right? So it begins with Krishna describing, you should approach a spiritual master. As I said, Tavidi pranipattena pariprajnana sevaya. Pariprajnana was submission. Pariprajnana with inquiry, and sevaya with service. So approach a self-realized soul, a spiritual master, a truth seer, a tatmadashinaha, who has seen the truth and can upadekshanti te jnanam, give you knowledge, initiate you into transcendental knowledge. Right, and as a result of this, you'll know that all living beings are but part of me, part of Krishna. Then Krishna in text 36 to 38, he glorifies how wonderful jnana is, this transcendental knowledge that he's giving to Arjuna. How wonderful it is. I won't go over it too long, otherwise we'll come to the end of the class again. I won't have spoken about this verse. But anyway, so then coming closer to what Krishna is actually speaking about here in this verse 42, he starts to talk about a faithful man. So a faithful man who's absorbed in transcendental knowledge. So it's absorbed in it. A faithful man. So faith, we talked about last week, faith, trust, confidence, belief, so this is, it's beyond just mental, oh yeah, I agree with that. Faith is beyond just agreement, right? It's trust, confidence, belief, that this knowledge that Krishna is giving me, that my spiritual master is giving me, is a solid foundation for my life. Jesus spoke about building a house upon the rock, not the sand, right? So, so you have to have a solid platform to build your life on. So Krishna is giving us this real platform. solid spiritual knowledge, jnana, upon which we can live our life. So, if we don't choose to live upon this solid platform, then we're just living on the sand. Right? In Jesus' analogy, right? Lord Jesus' analogy. And you build a house on the sand, well, it's not stable. It's going to get washed away by the waves. Right? Or the first storm that comes along will get washed away. So we have to build upon the solid foundation. This solid foundation is our faith in this jnana, or transcendental knowledge, that we're receiving through the disciplic succession, coming through our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who's giving us this Bhagavad Gita as it is. Right? So this is a solid foundation. So a faithful man who's absorbed in transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses quickly. So this knowledge also goes with sense control. If we don't control the senses, then there's no way we can be on a solid platform. Acting out of sense gratification and making sense enjoyment the goal of life means it's essentially rejecting this transcendental knowledge, because it's all based upon serving the body, trying to satisfy the senses of the body. But of course, the transcendental knowledge we're receiving is saying, hey, you're not the body. You are eternal spirit soul. Your real purpose in life is to achieve self-realization. What is this self-realization? Realizing who I actually am, that I'm spiritual in essence, eternal spirit soul, and that I have my own unique loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. And so re-establishing a loving relationship with Krishna, the all-attractive person, this is self-realization. So if we're engaged in sense gratification, if our goal in life is to enjoy sense enjoyment, well then it's like it's like pouring water on a fire. You're trying to ignite the fire of spiritual knowledge, and meanwhile you're pouring water on it. So anyway, then Krishna next moves on. He's described the faithful person, then he describes the ignorant, the agna, those who have no knowledge, the ignorant people, and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures, do not attain God consciousness. For the doubting soul there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. And we discussed last week how the doubting soul is kind of like worse off than the ignorant person who just goes, hey, nah, I just want to go and enjoy my senses, right? So they don't even waste their time in discussing Bhagavad Gita or worrying about it or anything. They're just like, no, hey man, I'm the body. At the end of the body, it's all over. So, I just become nothing. There's nothingness, the great void, right? So goal of life is just to hedonistically enjoy myself, and I'm going for it, right? So this is like the ignorant person. They're blissfully ignorant, right? Whereas the doubting soul, they're kind of like, well, no, I have some belief, but I've got doubts. So I can't commit myself. I'm not committed. We all know if you're not committed, it never really works out. It's very hard to achieve something if you're not committed. Like if you're in a relationship with your spouse or your girlfriend or something, but you got doubts, I'm not sure if this person's right for me. Well then you're not committed to the relationship. You're always thinking about, maybe I'll leave. Yeah, maybe I won't do this. Yeah, I'll do this for a while, but hey, somebody better comes along, I'm out of here. So there's no stable platform in the relationship. There's no commitment to it. So this is an important concept in marriage, of course, is Bhārata. When you get married, you do it's a Bhārata or a vow. One makes commitments. These are rock solid commitments. These can't just be dropped. Oh no, I don't want to be with you anymore. It's like, well, what are you talking about? You made a vow. You made a commitment. You should honor your commitments. Don't break your promise. If you make a promise, you must follow it. So, but so if you're a doubting soul, then the commitment isn't there. And so Krishna says, for the doubting soul there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Then he says, therefore, this is what text 41 that we studied last week at the end of the class. Therefore, one who has renounced the fruits of his action, right, is a karma yogi, nishkama karma yogi. He's not attached to the results of his action. He's performing his action because it's his duty, it's his swadharma, it's his responsibility, it's the right thing to do. It's Krishna's arrangement for this material world that we should perform our duty in a detached way. So one who has renounced the fruits of his actions, whose doubts are destroyed by transcendental knowledge, and who is situated firmly in the self, atmavantam, is not bound by works. So he's telling Arjuna, look, if you act like this, then you're not bound. Like Arjuna's all worried, oh my God, I'm going to get bad karma, I'm going to go to hell if I engage in this sinful activity that you want me to do, Krishna. So Krishna is telling him definitively, you're not bound by your works. There is no karmic reaction. If you renounce the fruits of the actions, you're acting in a detached way, and if your doubts are destroyed by transcendental knowledge, then, and situated firmly in the self, understanding who you are, then you're not bound by your works. Then Krishna goes on to say, concluding the chapter, therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bhārata, stand and fight. Tajmada jnana sambhutam, hritstam jnana sinatamaha, chitva nam samsayam yogam, atishto tishta Bhārata. Tajmada jnana sambhutam, hritstam jnana sinatamaha, chitvainam samsayam yogam, atishtot tishta Bhārata. So Tajmat, therefore, right? Therefore, otherwise Krishna's been speaking Bhagavad Gita, and now he's telling Arjuna, as a result of everything I've said, therefore you should now do this. So Krishna, like, this is a serious conversation taking place before millions of soldiers on a battlefield. So this is like heavy. This is a heavy situation. And Krishna is trying to wake Arjuna up. Wake up, Arjuna. Realize the situation you're in. Realize who you are. Realize what your duty is, how you should act in this situation. Now, therefore, Arjuna, ajnana sambhutam. So the outcome of ignorance, or born of ignorance, arising from ignorance. So ajnana is ignorance. So the in front, jnana is knowledge. Negates it, no knowledge, right? Ignorance, right? So ignorance is like a synonym. It's really like non-knowledge or no knowledge, right? Ajnana, no knowledge. So how this ignorance or this non-knowledge, sambhutam, proceeding from, produced from, or originating in. So, ajnana sambhutam, the outcome of ignorance or born of ignorance, arising from ignorance. Hritastam, situated in the heart, abiding in the heart. So this, within Arjuna's heart, is these doubts, right? Because he's standing He's doubting at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, I don't want to fight. He's doubting his purpose in life. He's doubting what Krishna wants him to do. He's full of doubts and anxieties. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do, Krishna. Tell me what to do, This is kind of how he approached Krishna when he finally surrendered, It's like, Krishna, tell me what to do. So he comes to this point where he wants to, where he's at this point where now Krishna is telling him, these doubts that you have in your heart, right? It's more than just mental. It's like, it's not just a mental thing. It's like the heart. This is like the seat of the soul, or the seat of the consciousness. It's not just thoughts. It's like feelings and emotions. Arjuna is devastated by the idea of having to engage in this war. He's completely devastated. His mouth's dried up. His limbs are quivering. His whole body is shaking. His skin is burning. There's like all these, emotions and feelings that Arjuna is experiencing. They're like heartfelt. We talk about someone being heartfelt. Being very sincere, serious. This is like going, this is how these are my heartfelt feelings and emotions, So like this is the heart is like this. So, coming from Arjuna's heart is this, ajnana, this ignorance, Krishna, and then asina, or asina, by the weapon of, the sword of, with the sword, by the knife, with the knife. So Arjuna is a warrior. So Krishna's telling him, I'll just keep going through the things. So atmana, admanaha, of the self, own of thyself, or chitva, cutting off, destroy, slashing, having cut, cutting away, severing. Enam, these, samsayam, doubts, hesitation, irresolution. So Arjuna has all these doubts in his heart, these samsayam, doubts, hesitation, irresolution. They're all situated in his heart. And Krishna is telling him to sever these, to cut these, to destroy them, to slash, right? Using an asina by a weapon or a sword, or a knife. So Arjuna is a warrior. So these words that Krishna is using are very appropriate to a warrior. Use a sword, use a knife, cut them out. These doubts, this irresolution that's within your heart, cut it out with a knife or a sword. Slay it, kill it, right? Get rid of it. These doubts, get rid of them. You can't, like I was saying, if you're full of doubts, you can't act decisively. You can't do what you need to do. You're going to be questioning all the time. Am I doing the right thing? Should I do this? Should I not do this? I'm not sure. What do you think? What do you think? You're constantly agitated by doubts, in your mind and heart. I'm not sure what to do. So Krishna's telling him, look, these come from ignorance, from ajnana, a lack of knowledge. So you need to cut these out, with a weapon, a knife or a sword. And what is this weapon or sword that you should use? It's jnana, knowledge. By the sword of knowledge. Bhaktivedanta Swami says, therefore the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. So this knowledge is like a weapon. So this is like a super fitting analogy for a warrior on a battlefield. But we're all in this situation where we're assailed, or perhaps not all of us, where we're assailed by doubts as to what I should do. Whether I should do what Krishna wants me to do, whether I should do what my spiritual master wants me to do. Should I do this? I've got other people who want me to do something else. My family members are telling me, no, I shouldn't do this. Or I got my boss at work and he's like telling me to do something that is wrong and I don't want to do it. So if we're assailed with doubts and we're not sure what we should do or not do, then we don't have a platform, like I was talking about, the solid rock that we need to, foundation that we need to build our life upon. Right? Is this knowledge, this jnana that Krishna is giving us here in Bhagavad Gita. And so we should use this knowledge, a knowledge that lets us know who I really am, what my relationship is with this world, the sambandha, and what the abhidheya is, or the process I should be engaging in to achieve the goal of life, and then prayojana, what the goal of life is. This is how all the Vedic literatures and how the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy is analyzed and understood in these three words, as Lord Chaitanya's instructions to Srila Sanatana Goswami. Sambandha, abhidheya, and prayojana is one way of analyzing things. But anyway, so this knowledge, understanding my true identity, who I am, the science of identity, this is a weapon by which we can slash the doubts within my heart. Then Krishna says, armed with yoga. So, yogam, in yoga of non-fruitive action. So having cut away this doubts and this ignorance, then atishtha, be situated, take shelter, take refuge, resort, go towards, perform. So there's, strongly telling Arjuna, do this, right? So do this. Uttishta, stand up, fight, arise for battle. Bhārata, O descendant of Bhārata. So therefore, having cut away with the sword of knowledge the doubts that proceed from your ignorance and is abiding in your heart, resort to yoga. Stand up, Arjuna, and fight. Armed with the yoga, O Bhārata, stand and fight. So of course Krishna is, in previous verses, is repeatedly telling Arjuna, perform your duty and fight. In 237, Krishna told him, either you'll be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore get up and fight with determination. Then 330, surrendering all your works unto me, with mind and so surrendering all your works unto me. Working with and detachment, offering the results of our actions to Krishna. With mind intent on me, and without desire for gain, and free from egoism and lethargy, fight. Perform your duty. Do what I want you to do. So there's, like karma yoga crosses over into bhakti yoga when there's devotion. Right? Devotion, love, heartfelt emotion. Devotional service. So bhakti means service or devotion, love. It's used in connection with Krishna or Vishnu. Bhakti. So devotional service. So performing service or action out of love. Karma yoga, there may not be love. But once there is love, then it becomes bhakti yoga. And then we should be the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Man mana bhava mad bhakto. Arjuna, just think of me. Man mana, just think of me. Bhava mad bhakto, become my devotee, love me. And then savadaman prityaja mamikam saranam braja. Abandon all varieties of Dhamma and just surrender unto me. Savadhamam parityaja. Give up all Dhamma. Give up all religiosity. Mamikam saranam braja. So mam, me, ekam, one-pointedly. Sharanam, take shelter or surrender. Raja, go with urgency. And this Raja can also be taken to refer to Braj, Mandal or Vrindavan Dham. So surrendering, taking shelter of Krishna in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. This is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. So here in chapter 4, at the end, Krishna has spoken a little bit, given some previous inklings that one should be engaging in bhakti yoga. Here in at the end of chapter 4, Krishna is saying, engage in nishkama kama yoga. Perform your duties without attachment to the result. And this will give rise to knowledge of your true identity as spirit soul. So armed with such knowledge, Arjuna, slay all the doubts within your heart. Perform your duty and fight. This is yoga, or linking up with the Supreme. So next week we'll begin on chapter 5. So I've been putting in the in a post in the group, a PDF, right, that has like a chapter summary, and then the verses in the particular sequence we're discussing, and then there's a couple of slides with the synonyms, and then the purport of Bhaktivedanta Swami. So please download that and study it if you like. So thank you very much. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Namaste, Krishna.